Saying, we get things from the thrift store a lot of times, especially shoes, clothes, and you guys will probably find out that I am adamant about thoroughly cleaning excuse me, y'all, you know where the hiccups is coming from. I'm adamant about thoroughly cleaning the things that we get from the thrift store. And that also brings the life back into an item. You know, just like when you get in the tub and take your bath, you know, or take your shower, you know, it brings the life back into you. And it does the same thing for the things in which you own. It helps you to maintain those items. Let me show you what I have, and then I'll talk about the shoes. Now, this is going to be a chatty video. It's going to be chatty catty. Okay, so I'm letting you know now before we even get into the video. So for those of you who don't really like all of the talking, this may not be a video for you. But if you like the talking and you like to hear it and you like to listen to it, because I'm that way. I watch cleaning videos all the time and listen to people talk. But so what I have here is I have a bowl with just water. Just plain water, and I have my brush, my handy dandy brush, the same one I used when I was washing my bag, my little handy brush. Here I have my glass bowl with soapy water. This has the 7th generation detergent in it, okay, just in case anything needs a really thorough cleaning, okay. Then I have my larger brush in case I need to really get in there and get out a stain. And then this is a smaller bottle of soap and water. This is also 7th generation, and I have the smaller bottle for some of those pieces where I don't want them saturated with water. Okay, this used to be a Carol's Daughter bottle. I had some hairspray in, not hairspray, it was like a oil, like a leave-in spray oil, and I used it all, and I kept the bottle and just took the labeling off, because I just feel like I got so many bottles of products that I either don't use or I'm just about done using them, and I always keep the bottles because I can always use them for different things. I just feel like I shouldn't have to go to the store and buy a spray bottle when I have some. And then for my heavy duty stains, I have my OxiClean laundry detergent stain remover, and you can see that it is chlorine free. Okay, so this should not leave this should not discolor anything, and this is in a spray bottle, which is wonderful. It makes it so much easier for me. As you can see, I'm at my sewing table. I do everything on this table. This is like my cohesive do-it-all table. Now, these shoes I picked up at the thrift store, and I thought these were adorable slingback summer sandals. You can see some of the places where it needs to be clean. These originally came from Old Navy, and when you look in the inside here, see all that wording in there, tells you what this material is. And this is man-made material, and it is, let me take a look at it. It is a synthetic material, so this is not suede. Something that they created, I don't know. It feels like sort of like a hard silicone, kind of like a silicone slash suede, but it's definitely not real leather. Okay, and then in the inside you can see it needs some cleaning. Now, if you look at the bottom, this is one of the things I look at anytime I pick up shoes from the thrift store. I want to see whether or not the bottom has been ruined, and that will let me know how long they kept the shoe and if it's just too damaged to purchase. But you can see that all those little ridges are still intact. Okay, so, and it's a little dingy on the bottom from being outside, walking around. But whoever had these shoes, they only wore them a couple of times before they decided they didn't want them anymore. you can see that nothing is really out of place. The shoe is really just dirty. That's all. It's just dingy and it needs to be clean. So whoever had the shoe, thank you, appreciate it. But this was a simple fix. They didn't have to donate these shoes. This was a simple fix, but thank you anyway. So I'm gonna start, I think, with just a little bit of soap and water. Okay, and let's start with the inside of the shoe, because that's always the hardest part to get to. Having these little spray bottles makes life so much easier. Okay, I want to get in. This bottle had peppermint essential oil in it, so when I spray it, excuse me, when I spray it, I can still smell the peppermint. So these shoes on the inside are gonna smell like peppermint, which is fine. I have no problem with that. Then I'm just gonna go in a little motion here and clean the inside of that shoe. You know, thrifting, to get into the chit chat part of this, thrifting has been something that I have done. Y'all, excuse the video before I get into the other stuff. Excuse the quality of the video. I don't have one of those stands that, you know, it twists down so that it can stabilize the camera while you're doing the things that you're doing. I'm actually holding this camera with my legs. So I'm rigging it up, y'all. You know, you got to get creative sometimes. And so because of that, the camera might be shaking a little bit, or there may be moments when I go out of focus for you to see what I'm doing. I apologize. When I get my coins together, as I always say, when I get my coins together, I will purchase one of those little stands. I just haven't done it yet, and I don't want to spend my money on that at this very moment. Got other things to pay for, you know. So, but when that time comes, I promise you I will be getting one when I can, as soon as I can. So that way, when we do these type of videos, you guys won't have to sit through the shaking. I believe I was talking about, if I can remember now, I've always been a thrifter, and it's never really been a bad thing for me. I know there are some people that they just can't bring themselves to thrift. I heard somebody say that. Someone that I knew was saying that a friend of hers just couldn't bring herself to go to the thrift store and buy clothes and stuff. And I thought that was really funny because, when you go into the regular stores, you know how many people try those clothes on? Sweaty, just came from walking outside, and they trying on them same clothes. You know, even if you're buying designer brands, you can go into a store to buy a handbag. Do you know how many people have put their hands on those bags? You are very lucky if you go into a store and you pick up a bag and it just came from the back. Most of the time, those bags have been sitting on those shelves for a long time, and people have been picking them up, touching them. You don't know who washed their hands when they came out the bathroom and who didn't. So, it's funny because when I was becoming a nursing assistant at the time, and I did it while I was in high school, and our professor did this experiment with us to show us that nothing is as clean as you think it is. And so she told us, you're going to go and wash your hands, and you're going to wash your hands for as long as you think you need to. And some of the girls was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be good at this. I'm going to wash my hands. And they washed and they washed and they washed and they washed and they washed. Some of them did it for about 15 minutes straight. Then she turned off the lights and put the black light on our hands because there was a gel we had to put on our hands first, and then we had to wash it off. And even the people who had cleaned themselves for about 15 minutes, scrubbing, they had less dirt on their hands. They had less of the product on their hands. But their hands were not clean either. You could see like the little specks, and you could see spots all over their hands where no matter how much you clean it, it's never going to be 100% sterile. So, I think about that, and I think about, even when you're ordering an item, imagine how many people who work in that distribution center who are touching those items. And some of them wash their hands, and some of them don't. So, to me, I just feel like nothing is really clean anyway. So, but some people like, well, yeah, but nobody's worn it. But you don't know that either. You don't know who has given your clothing a test drive before you purchased it. I'm sure people who work in distribution centers might have more to tell you, and that would shock you, concerning how things come up missing for about a week or so, and then all of a sudden it reappears. Especially if it's a clothing distribution center, you never know. So I wouldn't be so quick to assume that because it's new and out of the package that it has not been worn. I think I've even seen things before where people say they've gotten it brand new from different places and it smells bad. And I'm just like, I'd rather just clean that at home, than assume that it's clean. I would just do it myself. Then I know it's clean. But everyone is different, and I'm not knocking anybody if thrifting is just not your thing. I'm not knocking you for it. I'm just saying, if that's your reason, cleanliness, you may want to reconsider whether or not the things you get out of the store is as clean as you think it is. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I've always been a thrifter, and it doesn't bother me to clean things because I actually like cleaning. So that doesn't really bother me to clean and make sure that it's the way that I want it. And I prefer to do that because I feel like if I clean it, I know it's going to be clean. And it's going to be clean to my liking. Let me put it that way. But when I was a young girl in my teenage years, in preteen years, I lived with my grandmother. I don't know if I've said that here before. I probably have. I lived with my grandmother, and we couldn't afford all this expensive stuff, and so my aunt worked in the school system, and the teachers, she was really good friends with a lot of the teachers. And so when as I got older, she would tell them, hey, if you guys have anything that you want to get rid of, because a lot of the teachers had daughters that were going off to college, or they were going into high school and they couldn't fit some of their middle school clothes anymore. And she was like, if you have anything, let me know. Because, my mom can't afford to keep her up like that. And if you have anything that you're going to donate anyway, let me know. I'll bring it home. And I would get boxes. These girls literally would start a whole new wardrobe when they went to college. And they would throw out everything from high school. And I was like, child, you wasteful. Why would you throw out all your clothes? The stuff is going to cycle back around. In about 2-3 years, everybody's going to be wearing the same stuff that you just gave away. Because everybody knows fashion cycles around. The same stuff that was popular when you were a teenager, when you're in your 30s, it'll be popular again. But of course, as a teen and as a young adult, we don't listen to mama and grandmama when they try to tell us, don't throw all your clothes away. we decide, oh no, I gotta have a whole new wardrobe, honey. I can't be going to college looking crazy. That's what we think, right? And come to find out, you get there and people wearing the same stuff. But so the girls would give me boxes and boxes of clothes. And you know, some people may look at that like, oh, that's hand-me-downs. You know, but for me, being a creative person as I am, and those of you who are thrifters and who are creative too, I'm sure, you know, you probably think the same way that I think. I saw it as an opportunity. You know, I'm a glass half full type of person. And so, you know, I was like, oh, I don't have, first of all, I'm getting new stuff. Because a lot of the clothes that they threw out or that they donated, a lot of that stuff was brand new. It was stuff they hadn't even worn. It literally just sat in their closet. And a couple of the teachers, when I would talk to them, they would be like, yeah, my daughter, you know, she's not even wearing this stuff, you know. And so, just stuff that's sitting in the closet. And they were being wasteful, but thank you anyway, because they gave it to me and I put it to good use. And I would make all kind of different outfits. And my aunt needs to have a dry cleaning service. That's what she should have done, because that woman can clean. Honey, she can clean. Okay, she would make your stuff look like it came straight off the rack. Like, I have never seen anybody who can iron your stuff and it literally smells and look like it's brand new. Like it literally came off the rack and you just bought it. And it's stuff that you done had for 5 or 6 years, but the way that she cleans and irons, everything is to perfection. And I was like, honey, you would have been a millionaire with a dry cleaning service. Everybody would have wanted to come to you, because, I mean, her stuff is just, she's just a perfectionist when she does things. And so she would clean up my stuff for me. And oh my goodness, the kids at school always thought that we had money because of the clothes that I wore. We didn't have no money, honey. Them was hand-me-downs. But that woman could clean so good by hand, you just couldn't tell, you know. I remember one girl saying, you dress like you were rich. Like, you know, y'all, your aunt must make a lot of money. I was like, girl, bye. We don't have no money. This woman worked day in and day out to make sure that we have food on the table and clothes on our back. And my uncle worked construction until he hurt his back and couldn't work construction anymore. And then he, you know, picked up side jobs. So life was not easy, you know. There were times when I remember when when Walmart, you know, first got really big, and you know, it was like a sin to buy stuff from Walmart. Man, I was wearing Walmart clothes long before people started doing YouTube videos, talk about, you know, dressing, making nice outfits from Walmart. Child, I was doing that a long time ago, when people used to make fun of you for wearing Walmart clothes. You know, I was doing that a long time ago, dressing for less, taking stuff that was inexpensive and making it look like it was expensive, you know. But to me, I was never upset about it, and I never felt like I was missing out. I think I always felt like this is life. This is the way it is. And so I loved getting the new clothes in boxes. I mean, I would get bags and boxes every school year of clothes. And this is why, you know, I tell my husband all the time, I say, everything that I have seen in the stores right now, I can tell you I've probably owned it at one point in time in my life, because I got so much stuff throughout the years from middle school to high school. I've had just about every outfit you can think of, and it wasn't necessarily popular at that time, but I've had them. So it's funny to me when I see a lot of stuff and I'm like, it's in style now, And you know back then it wasn't. You gone?
Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay. All right.
I'm not taking the car keys.
Okay. So yeah, it wasn't in style then, but you know, it's the same stuff I see now. So I'm not necessarily impressed. This is probably why I don't follow trends like that, because I'm not really impressed with a lot of the things that I see on the runway, because it's the same old stuff I had when I was in middle school. You know, that was not popular then, but you know, it makes a comeback. And then coming from older generation, being raised by my grandparents and stuff, you know, I would see pictures of them wearing 70s style clothing, and all of that stuff that you see on the runway is exactly the same as what's in those old pictures. You know, so that's why I'm not really impressed with it, because I know that it's just a remake of the same old things. I feel like, well, if the designer can do it, I can do it too. I can just go thrift and get what I want and make it the way I want to make it. You know, I don't like being told what to wear and how to wear it. Not that there's anything wrong with designers, because they, you know, they have a job to do. But pass me my brown ones too. Right there. Thank you. They have a job to do as well, but I just feel like I can do it myself. You know, I can make up my own style, my own fashion, but that's just me. Everybody's different, and I'm not knocking anybody for being different. Okay, so I feel like this one is pretty clean. And what I do when I finish with them is I let them sit and dry. That was pretty clean on the inside. I'm going to go through and get some of that soap out of there. But I'm going to show you what I do to the back of the shoe to get a lot of that dinginess off. Okay. Now this is sort of a rubbery material here, and it's not going to take a lot to get it clean. So I'm just going to use the OxyClean that I showed you guys earlier. Spray a little bit on there. And I'm just going to take the regular water with nothing in it and brush off the bottom. Okay. That smells so good. Some of these markings is from at the Goodwill store and the thrift stores. A lot of times they mark in numbers to tell you how much it costs and stuff like that. But that generally does come off. And then I go across the ridges as well, just in case anything is inside those ridges. I go across, but this looks like a marker where they maybe were marking something on there. I don't know, but I'll go in closer in a minute and find out if it doesn't come out. You guys heard my husband in the background. He's running around doing some stuff, and I was asking him to pass me another pair of shoes, because while I'm cleaning, I might as well go ahead and get all of them clean that are dirty. Yeah, that looks like a marker because I can't get that out, but I have some safety pins, and a lot of times I'll take the end of the safety pin and scratch across to see if it will come out. And it kind of helps me better determine what exactly it is. Now, throughout this process, you may have to change out your water. You can see my water's getting a little dingy. But so let's look at the comparison of the one that I just cleaned. Now this one got wet just from laying there, but you can see the difference in the color. Okay, the difference in the outside, this one has a couple little stains on it. The inside looks 100 times better. Okay, and of course this one's wet, so it's going to look a little darker anyway because it's wet. Alright, and then this is the one that's been cleaned. It's just got a little stuff from the brush on it, and this one's still dingy. Okay, so it won't take much to get that completely clean and get that wiped down. I'll take a paper towel and wipe down the outside. And then I'm going to go back, because see, this is still soapy. See that soap still coming up? I don't want to leave the soap in there. So I'm going to go off camera and finish this pair, and then we'll move on to the next pair.